Happy Friday, everyone. Ooh. This is a lazy redhead, and if you don't know, I am the lazy redhead. I love a brew. I love a brew. You know those moments where you think, I'm a genius, and then you turn out to be a genius? I'm having one of those moments. Very seldom happens, but I'm having it. This week, I wanted to go back and talk about the Art Graf. Now, I love the Art Graf. I normally use it for out and about, but on the last review that I did with the Art Graf, I had one major deal breaker. Well, there was two major deal breakers, but one I can't fix, the other I can, which is what we're doing today. One of the major deal breakers was the fact that the packaging was terrible. I may have to eat my words in as much as the packaging does allow you flexibility to create more sustainable and better packaging yourself. The amount you spend on them, I still believe you shouldn't have to do that. I think you should be able to have packaging that is fit for purpose, right? Or a choice, at least a choice, right? That would be great. Obviously, Art Graf didn't watch my review, my scathing packaging review. And if they did, they completely disregarded it. Rude. If in fact you did do that, rude. So I've come up with a way of creating the packaging myself. And actually, side note, it was extremely satisfying. Oh, but I did have to spend more money, and I didn't want to spend more money. So the packaging, I spent no money on, kind of. But in order for the packaging to work, I had to spend more money, which was annoying. Because the whole idea was that I didn't. I'm going to show you what I created, and then I'm going to show you what else I did, which I love. It's like craft heaven. I know. Right, so I was just testing some tools. This is an Art Graf cork thing I have had for a while. And this one broke. It usually comes in threes like that. This one, I think, got too wet, broke off. And I was thinking how best to cut these, because I've got a few to cut. So I've realised my bread knife is the best tool to cut. So I have this Creator Colour tin. I can't remember what was in here. I think it might have been the Mega Pencils. This tin's perfect for the Art Graf. Obviously I've got these two, and because they're bought in singles, they do not come in twos, unfortunately, or one cork. They come in these little plastic things, which are really annoying. So I measured this out. I can fit two of these and also two of these if I sort of trimmed them down a bit. I need a couple more replaced from the Earth set. I also need a yellow and a red primary. So I thought, actually, I'll just get another set. So what I can do is take out the full ones of these, use these to store them, replace them with that one, as well as probably two whites. I need to order another white. That's what the plan is. So let's do it. Let's see if my idea works, because if it does, marvelous. Cut it in half. Okay, so that's that bit. Let's do the next one. I hate getting these out of here. This is how they come brand spanking new. Obviously, mine is very well loved. I more than likely will have to cut a bit off the edge, which obviously is going to be a bit more tricky, but it should go in quite nice. So to wedge it in there, I'm using the leftover cork so that it wedges nicely in there and it doesn't move. But you probably won't need to take off as much of that, which is good. A bit of the edge as well. We need to stand up for this bit. Oh, Jesus. You need some strong hands to do this, I can assure you. And steady hands as well. Oh, God. Should be able just to sort of snap it off, surely. Come on. There we go. Right, cool. Things we do, honestly. Oh. Little bit off there. And that should be all good. Cool. Yep, that will do. And take a little bit off there. Oh, God, that was a nightmare. Cool. Right, I'm going to clear up. And here we go. This is what we're left with. A nice tin. And we open it up and we have all of the art grafts. Don't worry about these aren't broken. I've just pushed them in. They're just very, very brittle. So as it gets wet, it will mold into it. I don't waste art graft, it's very expensive. And it's one of my favourite art supplies to use, certainly when I'm out and about. Now, I know I've doubled up on a lot of stuff here. I've just taken away a graphite and a blue, primary blue. That one actually looks really well used. But like I said, it might be that I just need to play with it for a bit and see how I feel. I have a top-up box. This is all my top-ups here. So I already have, I think this is a black Art Graf. Yep, it is. So I will just plonk them. This is just spares of everything, and these are doubled up as well. I know, what a workout. What a bloody workout. In the end, I had to resort to the craft knife, which is somewhere around here. I resorted with the craft knife in the end. I should have really started with it, but you know, I was trying to slice it. Anyway, we got it done, didn't we? We got it done. Now, though, I want to swatch it for you because I know we have a lot of new subscribers and potentially some that haven't seen the first review and subsequently me swatching them. I have got two new ones, as you know, the green and the magenta that was kindly sent with a birthday gift from Stephanie. Thanks, Steph, you're a legend. So I'm going to swatch them all and then we're going to create with them, and I'm going to discuss the pros and cons of this particular medium, in my opinion. I mean, you might find that some of the cons that I point out are actually just what you're looking for, and in that case you can shove it in the pro pile. Either way, I love them anyway. Okay, so I'm going to swatch these for you, and I'm also going to mix. If you don't know, Art Graf is what's called pigment block. Imagine, and I've said this before, but imagine soft pastel and ink had a baby. This is what it would look like, I believe. We'll just start from the beginning. Right, this is primary blue. I'll try and get the best colour. No, it's not the best colour. And the reason is because I contaminate my stuff. I'm terrible for it. Oh, here we go. I'll try and flip it over. So that's what it did look like. This is what it actually looks like. There you go. That's primary blue. They mix extremely well. Here we go. Primary yellow. Beautiful. This is primary red, I think. Looks very magenta-y actually. I think this might be the bloody magenta. Let's have a look. This is meant to be the magenta. I think this is actually the primary. Yeah, I don't bloody know. There you go. This is the new green, which I love. And I'm gonna be mixing with that in a minute. I'll leave the white for a minute. This is out of the Earth set, which is the best. I'll actually take it from here, to be fair. This, I think, is, I think that might be an ochre. I think that's burnt ochre. This is burnt sienna. Oh, just beautiful. Love it. I think this is brown. Yum. It's not usually that transparent. I think it's just me being... Yeah, there you go. This is dark brown. Nice. This is... I think I did that there, isn't it? Yep, I did that there. I'm getting all confused. And then you have a black here, which is extremely beautiful. One thing I want to do is see if I can dirty this green up with a bit of that. Oh, a bit more of that. Oh yeah, that's good. That is good. Yep, yep, yep. Nice, nice, nice. You get really nice. It's just beautiful, isn't it? Oh, I just can't even handle it. And the white is fantastic. Obviously, this is extremely compromised. Big time. But, you know, you can make some really lovely kind of baby blues. You can make some amazing pinks and purples. Oh my word, look at that. Look at that. See what I mean? Really opaque. Fantastic. One thing I love doing is doing this with the black and making some really nice greens. So that's going to be great. Look, I can use the lid as a palette. Also, one thing I will say, they do come alive again when they have been put down. They're dry. So for example, there you go, they will come alive again, right? So if you're wanting to put anything on top of it after you've created your masterpiece, just bear in mind that it will reconstitute, that they will come back alive. So for a palette, for example, I mean, this is already dry, but for the palette, I can go back in and reinvigorate it and use it. So in terms of it not drying or not staying still after it's dried, any color I mix on here, then I can reuse. I can come back, much like gouache, which is fantastic because I'm not going to get any waste then, am I? But look at that. I mean, I know it looks a bit pre-loved, this half, and this half looks beautiful, new and fabulous. The other thing you can do, these are a bit brittle, but you can pick them up and draw with them. They're very, very versatile like that. I think I might start doing that a bit more because just in terms of my mark making, certainly for out and about, I think that's actually a really good idea. I could potentially keep one side for painting on and then this side for like drawing on, you know. Maybe. I probably won't. I'm not that clean, am I, and that organised. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I do miss working in art craft. But in terms of actually getting out and about and using this is going to be invaluable, I think. Anyway. Oh yeah, love it. I think we should take this for a spin round the block, don't you? Right, okay, let's go. So the packaging works, thank the Lord. And I didn't actually think the lid could be like a mixing area. I don't know why. I just didn't think of it. But it did, and it does, and it's fabulous, and I love it. I know the colours are amazing. I can mix hundreds of colours with them, hundreds. I use them a lot for out and about, travelling, things like that, because they do dry really, really fast, as I've said. And they're so versatile and so flat, and the pigments are so intense that I can pretty much get what I want out of them. In terms of the versatility of having to draw with them, however, I don't usually draw with them because I saturate them with water so much. It's like trying to pick up a bar of soap and then you get pigment everywhere and nightmare. So I don't draw with them. I would suggest though that if you wanted to draw with them as well as wet them, I would get a few extras and keep one lot for dry and the other for obviously wetting, or just keep them dry and then wet them on the paper. I don't know, you do you, but that's not how I roll in this instance. What we're going to do now though is I'm going to create a few pieces. I'm going to get my sketchbooks out. We're going to do a bit of sketchbook work and I'm going to use them for layering. I'm also going to talk about some of the decisions I make of having some technical problems at the moment with regards to my speaker. I don't know what this is. Speaker. I'm having a few issues on the other camera with the So sometimes it works, sometimes it's just not good enough, and so I'm having to voice over a lot of my stuff at the moment. I will get it fixed, I'll get it sorted. The show must go on, people. The show must go on, so having to be creative about it. Let's get to creating, and I'm just going to chat to you as I do it, if you don't mind. Cheers. Oh, and create with me. Get your stuff out. Come on, let's do it. So I've just sped this bad boy up because we will be here for hours, trust me. I'm doing 3 pieces, creating the grounds so that I will work on them later on when they're dry. And I'll more than likely use mixed media, pencils, oil pastels potentially, soft pastels. You can put whatever you want on top of these. That's the beauty of working in this type of medium. But for those of you who don't know and haven't seen the first review direct from the Art Graf website, the pigment blocks are, or the Art Graf tailor blocks, are inspired by traditional tailor's chalk blocks. The Art Graf chalk block is a rich pigment block designed for drawing and painting. They are extremely soft and water soluble and can be blended to achieve a wide range of shades from light to deep opaque colours. I can contest they are extremely opaque, and they're matte as well. They're extremely matte. When you do fix them though, or put a seal on them, varnish, what have you, I always have to spray fixative on them first, because even the brushing of a varnish, both oil and water base, will reinvigorate them again, and you'll just get a pure muddy mess. All the hard work you put in will be gone in an instant, in a single brush stroke. And that was one of the 2 issues I had with them. The packaging and the fact that they could come alive again when any moisture goes near them. That's something that I really struggle with. When I put a mark down, I ordinarily like it to stay there because I work on top, and the way I work on top and create layers is very intuitive. I go from dry to wet, wet to dry, and I'm not methodical about it. I don't like to have to think about what I can and can't do. And when you can't utilise the surface and flip from one to the other, wet, dry, dry, wet, you have to think about what you've got on your page, and you have to think about what order you create in. And for me, that's just not a great combination. I don't like to think about creating when I create. Having said that though, with regards to having this new system, and certainly having the lid as a palette, having them not dry and be able to use again and again after they've dried is actually a bonus in this instance, because there's no waste then. There is absolutely no waste, or limited waste, because you can just spray the lid or spray the palette, and you can use whatever colours you've mixed on your previous creative session, and it's just fantastic that way, to be fair. So it swings and roundabouts, you know. I think if you did want to use any wet medium on again, you didn't want them to move, the only thing that you could possibly do is just fix them, is just put some fixative down. You'll see that I just kind of ordinarily mix on the paper a lot of the time, or on the surface. They don't do well on canvas, I will say this. Like, the canvas can be quite sucky and they're very watery, so they do work very much like watercolour in that respect. They will just bleed through canvas if it's not properly gessoed or properly treated. I know that from experience, unfortunately. For you to ascertain whether they're going to fit into your practice, you will need to play around with them. It did take me a while to get used to them. I did feel that with the not being able to work on top of it with wet stuff again, very limiting. I don't know why. It just put me off. So I did find it difficult, certainly when I first got them, to get used to them. But now that I have got used to them and I know exactly what they do and don't do, and I understand the way they are, that I just can't live without them now. We have our ground. The sketchbooks I have today are, well, one Ranger, which is the hardback. This is the one I got for my birthday. As you can see, I am filling it up quite dramatically. Oh, I just love it, absolutely love it. And I have two Fabriano sketchbooks, one A5, one A4, and then this A3 is a blue acorn. I've never heard of them before, but I got it from a really cheap art shop a while ago. If you want to know more about that, the information is over on the sketchbook party for all three of these sketchbooks. It's called Battle of the Softbacks. What paper you use the Art Graf on makes a huge difference. So for example, this paper is a mixed media type paper. It's very, very smooth, and there's very little suction on this paper, so a lot of the mediums will just sit on top. I think this is far more successful than the more sucky cheaper paper. I do find that the colour somewhat gets dulled. You can see that it's a little bit duller than this one, certainly, just a touch, but it makes a difference, you know, especially when these materials are really expensive, and I know I keep emphasising that, but they really are. So you want to make sure that you're getting the best use out of them. I would suggest using a higher quality paper when using them, because I do feel you get the best results, really. A smooth mixed media thick paper is best, I feel. Now ordinarily what I'll do is I will work on these when I'm watching a movie or just chilling out. I will choose one today to work on top of now so that I can kind of show you what I do. I will work on one of these because actually, as a ground, I'm quite happy with the way this one is, so I don't really want to disturb it. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I do a ground and I love it so much that I don't want to get rid of it, because usually I'll refer back to it, the colours, the textures, and maybe I might work into a part of it and just experiment, really. But I'm not ready to do that yet, so I will keep this one wrapped up. I'm probably, I'll just, don't know. I think I'll do the big one. Oh, let's do the big one. I can do these small ones in bed, just on the sofa. Let's just go big, shall we? There we go. One thing I will say, and I've said this before, but it will move around, yeah, and it is very messy. You get messy fingers just handling it, and you can reinvigorate it. So just be aware of that. I'm going to try the old oil pastels. These are really cheap oil pastels. This is a Pentel pastels, these are. I'll link them in the description box below, but they're great. They're really, really great. Cheap and cheerful, these are, and great for experimenting in Sketchbook. I'll just get stuck in. I haven't used them in a while, so they might be slightly dry. Sometimes these cheaper ones do dry out, but I haven't used oil pastel in so long that, you know, you get skill fade when using different mediums. But yeah, this one's nice. So this is what I'm saying. Art Graf also works as a really great ground. I've used them on so many different projects, and like I said, outside they're great. I love water-soluble mediums. I love working with a brush, getting a ground down. I love experimenting that way, and these are fantastic for it because they dry, like I said, they dry so fast. A green, let's go for our green. Oh, this one's a really, I think it's a brown actually, isn't it? Oh no, it is a type of green. But yeah, I love them. I absolutely love them. I can't recommend them enough, really. I working with these oil pastels as well. These are great. It's actually perfect actually for a project I'm working on at the moment. This project will be on YouTube. When I sort of experiment with things like this, I just kind of go in. I don't think about it too much, and honestly that is the key. It's just don't think about it. You know, it's a sketchbook at the end of the day. If you do like sketchbook work though, and you're wanting some encouragement or inspiration, we have a great laugh over at the sketchbook party here on YouTube. I forgot how fantastic these were to work in. Oh, I love it. Oh yeah. I've actually just conceptualized another project this morning with actually the help of a subscriber, and you know, I get given ideas a lot, and I know that they're given to me out the goodness of people's hearts. But I feel just, you know, awful saying, oh, I've got this idea, I hope you like it, you know, without giving any kind of a creative license to, you know, the people that help behind the scenes, and that's you guys, really. I'm so bloody lucky. I love you guys. I'm really emotional today. Sorry, it's my condition. I swear, it's my condition. If for those of you who don't know, just slightly off topic, I do have PMDD. For new people out there, I was recently diagnosed with PMDD, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically like PMS. Sorry boys, if you're on PMS on roids. It is a life destroyer, I'll be honest, and I've been suffering it my whole life, but certainly recently it's just unbearable. And yeah, and now I do this full time, which is partly why I did this full time so early on. A lot of the decisions that I made, I might not have made had it not been for, you know, other things going on at the time. I don't know what it is about sort of sketching and creating that just makes me kind of think and reflect and feel like I reflect a lot on stuff when I'm creating, and yeah, I don't know what it is about it that it just makes me want to do that. I know, slightly off topic guys, sorry. Art channel! It's an art channel! Oh well, look, you're my only friends, so you're just gonna have to deal with it, aren't you? Right, these sorts of things, this can happen, certainly with cheap oil pastels. I know this is a video about Art Graf, but I'm just going to kind of lay it down for you. With cheap oil pastels, they flake and fleck, right? With premium oil pastels, they're very creamy, very unctuous. You can almost spread them with a butter knife, right? But with this stuff, they can get a bit gritty. What can also happen is they get kind of mixed up and you get contaminations all over. You see, it kind of just does what it wants to do as a result of that. Now, I really like that, but in the instance that you don't, I would suggest like brushing off the excess every time you put a layer down, or even better, try not to go as hard as me, which is large and part of the problem, not necessarily the product, but it's it can still happen whether you're being rough or not. What I also like to do with this stuff is, if you really go for it, you can mix them, so you can really blend bits out and make some fantastic tones and textures. And I like that so much. It's really lovely. I'm really like melting them, you know, and being just really experimental. Oh, love. And you know, when you really do melt them and they kind of go into the paper, you can rework it with your like fingers. You can kind of get some tools, different tools, mark making, kind of scratch into them a lot. I do that as well. I don't think I'm talking about this like, you know, I should be doing the video on the Art Graf, but I just get so preoccupied. I'm so rubbish, aren't I? You can see the different flakes. I might actually, tell you what I might do for a laugh is see, oh yeah, see. Right, so these are the Krita colours, and I'm telling you now, they go on everything, right? This was obviously the Creative Colour, the box we're using for the Art Graf. These are the bad boys that came out of them. I'm telling you now, they are robust. So robust, go on everything. Oh, just, it even surprises me now how so versatile they are. I love it so much. You just, I mean, it's unreal. Like, what goes on oil like that? Like, it's just, it's witchery, it's sorcery, it is. It really is. You know, this is it. This is what it's about. It looks like a bloody mess, but I love that. I love that about it, you know? I'm gonna like wipe off, fix it as well, just because I'll forget that it's oil pastel and just start just doing random stuff with it. Right, let's clean ourselves up. There we go. There we go. So I haven't done any of this. I just sort of wiped it off. But I really like it. I love it. You know, it's messy, it's chunky, there's bits falling off it. But this is the thing, right? There's certain types of pencils that won't go on top of the Art Graf, like colouring pencils and such. Now, for the life of me, I can't remember what that is, but you can work on top of the Art Graf with most things if that's indeed what you like doing. There are some more detailed ways that you can use the Art Graf. I will be probably demonstrating more detail orientated subject matters in due course over on Patreon and the YouTube membership. But for the creme de la creme, I want to show you what I did. I summoned my inner crafter. Some of the materials I use are very crafty, like the glitter, certainly in recently sand. They can be very crafty, can't they? And trying to utilize those materials in a fine art context is an art in itself. I know that's a pun. It wasn't intended to be. Pardon the pun. It is an art in itself not to come off crafty, right? But I just let loose on the whole crafting. Love it. Decorated my Art Graf box, didn't I? Look at that. Isn't that great? Right, so we've got on here acrylic ink, we've got acrylic pens, we've got glitter, Laurie's glitter, a bit of Laurie's sand as well. We've got some Lazy Redhead stickers as well. It's just amazing. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that great? Isn't that fantastic? I love it. You never mistake it. Art Graf box. Oh, I love it so much. Do you love that? Obviously. I mean, it's just so perfect, isn't it? Really great, perfect. Obviously a bit crumbly here and there. But that's just because they're coming to the end. And so that does happen. It can break up, you know, dry out, crack and go crumbly. But it's still useful. You can still use it. I'm just delighted with my little Art Graf box. This has been a long time coming. I mean, it's been a year since I did my first review. So this has been a long time coming, people. I've needed a proper storage solution and I think I've got one and more. I've decorated it myself. I'm just excited. It's very heavy. I mean, in terms of actually getting out and about, it is going to be like this and one other thing you're going to be taking with you, otherwise you might as well take a bloody suitcase situation. But I won't be caught out with this set, will I? I have everything I need and more. So you will be seeing my beautiful box. I would have filmed me creating the lid. Apologies, my husband did say, oh, I bet that's going to be a great film, and I thought I didn't even think about it. And it's because lately I've been on a mission, as I alluded to in this video when I was doing this piece, the tree. I am in the middle of a body of work which I'm extremely excited about. I will obviously be introducing that as time goes on. Sometimes as a creative, you can just get yourself, you can bury yourself in an idea and you could go hours and hours without drinking, without eating. You just create, you know, and that's how it's been. I'm going through sketchbooks like nobody's business. I mean, I got that sketchbook from Stephanie for my birthday, the Ranger one. I mean, I'll probably end up finishing that in the next week or two. No word of a lie. And it is a thick sketchbook. It's not small, but I'm going through it. My dog's getting mental. Hello? Winnie? You stop now? You stopped because the camera's on you, didn't you? Huh? Oh, God, there she is. Oh, and now they're all up. Mummy is trying to film. No. No, now you're getting your toys out. This is just how it is, you know, all the time. Oh, nightmare. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you liked my Art Graf storage solution. If you do have a tin, a pencil tin, you know, Faber-Castell tin, Caran d'Ache tin, this is obviously a Cretacolor tin. Use the tins, you know. I use them for a lot of stuff. And I'm delighted I kept this one about because it's just been perfect for me. I mean, it's just worked out so well. I bloody love this tin. Oh, do you love it? Do you really love my little... I'll let you get on with your lives. Thank you for joining me this week. Hope you love the Art Graft. And if you haven't already seen it, go and watch the review one. It talks a lot more about when I first got them and the fact that I used them a lot more then. Okay, bye-bye. Toodles. Have a good life. Love you lots. Bye. Mwah.